Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, epigenetic human performance coach. This is where we discuss all things lifestyle, environment, food, exercise, work, mind, and social interaction as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone. So if you're ready to start viewing you as an individual, take control of your life and health, and get results, buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, and buckle back up again today. This is part 2 with the fabulous Dr. Daniella Remy. We did part 1 with her on perimenopause, and we talked about hormones, the hormones, bioidentical hormones, tracking, you name it. We covered it. So if you haven't checked that one out, you need to go back and check that one out. For those of you who tuned in, welcome to part 2. This is where, now we know Dr. Remy has been part of the inception of the PH360 protocol that I use with Shae is the app, the AI-driven app, and it's all personalized health like no one has experienced, which is why I created this podcast to get the word out because it's based out of Australia. There really are not many people here doing it in the US. And those that are probably brought on. So I've tried to create a team over here of people that get it. Personalized health is the key. When you have an individual, when you understand what the unique needs are for that individual and get them in alignment with how they're created, people thrive. And it is almost effortless when you compare it with using generic protocols, which is everything else that's out there. So Dr. Daniella, again, was part of the she's the brains actually behind the food section. And so she's going to talk about the concepts and how it was created. And I think you're going to find it fascinating. And if you might be, like I said, on the last podcast, you might be a client of mine currently. You might have been a past client, or you may be someone that's thinking about testing out personalized health. I invite you to do, and this is a great way to learn more about it. You might have someone this could help. And so that's what we are going to focus on today. So welcome back, Dr. Daniella.
Thank you so much. I always love being here. Like the conversations with you just flow so much. This is lovely and fun.
It is for me as well. So like we said, this isn't work. It's a work day and we're working, but it's not work. So
It's not work. It's so
bringing,
much fun.
bringing information out there to people. This is why I love what I do. If you can reach one person and make a difference, you're saving a life. And if you're saving that life and they have children, look at what you're impacting. And this is why we're here and why we do what we do. And the PH360, again, in the States, I bring it up. People don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I said, I need to get out from behind my laptop and put myself out there to the haters. And boy, do I get them when I talk about personalized health and bring it. But it's really, this is the future of health and wellness is personalized health. So talk to us about how the PH360, Shae, how this technology was developed with you at the helm and how its different benefits. Fill us in.
Okay. This is my pet project right from the very beginning. And essentially, the way it all started is when you start seeing patterns. You start seeing that there's a way to create very advanced outputs without working so hard. So if I had to create a personalized meal plan just for you, considering all the research that's out there on your genetics, all the research that's out there on your current health situation, what supplements you're already taking that you might not need through food, or what are your food preferences and what are your allergies and intolerances. And then I put all of that together and I'm like, okay, here's the food list. And I have to put them together and how to cook them. Oh yeah, each one of those foods, there's the portions, there's the polyphenols, there's how much fiber they have, there's the GI index, the glycemic index. Are they FODMAP food? Are they like, it's a lot. It's a lot for a brain to process. And I started seeing how all of these things, they matter. They matter very much, but they can, with the help of technology and computers, be simplified into a super fast process. And that is what happens when you're using the coaching panel behind PH 360, whether it's CLIA or when you're seeing your app and you're seeing that food list and those recipes and everything. The technology behind it, like the concept is not hard, but it's so powerful. And I'm surprised this is the only one that's out there. There's nothing else that does this. So what is this, right? What is the thing that it does? My favorite analogy to this is like a painting. So if I say protein is good, that's like blue on a painting. I'm like, oh, you need fiber. Oh, I'm going to add red to the painting. A painting is all kinds of colors and nuances and bits and pieces. So if you as an individual, for your age, your gender, your genetics, your health history, your food preferences, all of those are strokes of paint on this canvas. And I take the research and I layer it. So we're going to layer, let's say, for example, you want to lose weight for your body. How much weight and what type of health type are you? That's a layer of information. Maybe we've learned that because you have diverticulitis, you need to have fiber. But wait, is it inflamed diverticulitis? Ooh, let's add these kinds of things. What are the foods that help really well with the leaky gut component that you also have because it's related to diverticulitis? Oh, okay. We start layering the research about what foods or what components or what vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all of those things. Do you want hard fibers like mucilaginous fibers? It's very different. Do I want to chelate certain things out? Are we working on a detox pathway right now for the first phase or rebuilding for later? Like all of that is now smushed into a unique protocol just for you. So that food list that you're given or the recipes that are based on the food list is it so unique to you. Nobody else can have that exact same food list because all of those components have been created for you. And all that is layer upon layer upon layer. Now, with those layers, we're not even just layering. We're also talking about, because there's predictive health algorithms. So let's say, for example, you've got a knee risk of diabetes versus a big risk of diabetes, or like you're full-blown diabetic right now.
Yeah.
Now the glycemic index is going to matter at a different level according to that. So I'll put the glycemic index because it matters. But for one body where it's, oh my gosh, it's a big deal, it matters more versus, it's just a little predictive thing, it matters less. On top of all those layers, so the layers plus we're called weighted values all come up as that, all right, apple is on the top of your list, or asparagus is on the top of your list, right? Or whatever you do, avoid spinach, right? Like it might not make sense. Well, it does make sense because we try to explain every step and it's all there in the explanation. So you see, like, it's good for this, it's not good for this. And all of those are pros and cons. All of those are like pluses and minuses on the food that creates your unique food list. And then we put those together with how do you cook it? When do you need to eat it? What is your circadian rhythm doing? So that now we have the food guide and recipes that are specific with those components. You might be okay with, for example, broccoli is fantastic for you, but it needs to be cooked. So here are the recipes that are going to consider these things for you so that you're getting the most of that brassica vegetable, right? That's the premise behind it.
Where you see most food, if you go to a dietitian or a nutritionist, they don't base on nutrient density. They're basing on protein, fats, carbs. And then people want macros. This is completely different. As you're talking about, all of these factors are in there. So you're looking at nutrient density. What does this body need to be in balance? What does this body need less of that may be exacerbating or potentially exacerbate a certain condition that's either there or predictive? And I think the other, again, the neat part, when you have your unique food list and you click on a specific food, like you said, it actually will tell you, these are the reasons why it's recommended, or these are the reasons why I don't recommend it because of these factors. And that is gold for a lot of people. They don't want to know some want to know, just tell me what to eat. And then you have others that are, but I want to know why. you are recommending that I stop eating this or stop eating as much of this. I'm eating things 4 times a day. Why should I not eat this 4 times a day? I heard it was really good for you. Okay, it may not be good for you at this time. And that's the beauty is this is dynamic. So it changes as you change. I'll have you talk on that as well, that it's not here's a food list of and then the foods just to so everybody's clear, they're ranked in order of nutrient density from highest to low. So it's not here's a list of foods that suck for you, here's a list of foods that are good, and there's a list of eat and avoid. But again, even the avoids most of the time will say at this time due to you can get the foods on the eat list have just more nutrient density for you right now, which can make it a lot easier for people. And then then you have your personal, why did I just forget what it is? I've only worked with it for 5.5 years. The food pyramid. The
Food guide?
Food guide. Oh my gosh. The food guide is like your personal food pyramid. It'll go through the different foods and say like, this should be high up on the list, not an individual food, but say it could be white meat. It could be fatty fish, white fish, fruits and vegetables as a whole, things like that, nuts and seeds. So it'll say these might need to be limited at this time. And everything, of course, is at this time. And that's the beauty of it because we don't stay stagnant. We change. The seasons change. If you listen to Dr. Danielle and I the other day, it was our hormones change. Thus, we have to make adjustments. We have to level up when our bodies change. We don't have to come down and let it take us over. We just need to level up. And that's why this is a great way to level up. So I just wanted to clarify some of that for people. And since I've been working with it, so they understand where we're coming from.
And this is the thing. Nothing else is like this because what you eat, when they say eat with the seasons, that's another piece of data, right? So what you eat in the summer should be different from what you eat in the winter. And I'm talking about like cold extremes, hot extremes, right? If you're in Panama, it's always exactly the same, maybe a different condition. But that I'm just referring to imagine that you're living in one of the climates where you've got cold and hot. Your body responds differently. It's part of nature, right? To survive cold or hot temperatures. So there are cooling and warming foods. There are things that are going to benefit you and maybe create some sweat and detoxing pathways. Your organs respond a little bit differently when it's, I need to hold fat and nutrients to survive the cold winters because I'm in a body that is used to potentially even starvation in the winter, right? Like you didn't have food. Food scarcity is a thing. We still have that as our genetic heritage. So our body naturally puts on fat to also protect us from the cold. So we're going to have a different metabolic response to food, and the foods that we want to benefit our bodies, they're therefore different in the winter compared to in the summer when we're like, let's get all this off. And all of a sudden weight loss is a lot easier to do in the spring and the summer seasons than in the winter seasons. That means, that's included in those algorithms. So it is personalized. What a woman in her 20s is going to need is very different from a woman in her 50s or a woman in her 90s. So that is also included. It's age, it's race, right? If you've got, for example, a change in VDR receptor because you're darker skinned, so the way you're absorbing sunshine versus a super pale person who freckles all the time is absorbing sunshine a different way. And the VDR is your vitamin D receptors. So the way things are being metabolized and received is different. That matters. If you've got like a Mediterranean predisposition for sickle cell, that's changing the way your blood is responding and the way that you're going to need nutrients in your body. If you have hypothyroidism, or if you've got a propensity for migraines, or if you've got fibromyalgia, or if you've got IBS, like whatever your conditions are, all of those things are layers. And let's say you've changed your health. Let's say you've overcome your IBS, for instance, and you're no longer having your diarrhea, constipation related to anxiety and all those things. Then all of a sudden, you're going to see your foods change, right? So sometimes people are like, wait a minute. All my favorite foods are gone. It's like, let's see if they come back. Because sometimes, like you said, it's just for now because the algorithms and the AI and all those mechanisms behind are saying, we need to just work on these things right now. And usually I say, don't think about it as restrictive. Don't think about all the things you shouldn't do, although it's good if you can get there. But sometimes all you have to do is think about, what do I fill my plate with? And once you filled your
Crowd
plate
out.
with all of the top foods that are there, like you said, ranked, right? They are ranked and they're there in the top foods and you have variety. And then all of a sudden, you're full. You don't need or crave some of those other foods. Your habits start to change. Maybe all of a sudden you're like, oh, look, this food has popped up again. Yay! How wonderful. It changes with you and it's dynamic because you are dynamic.
And that's the beauty of us. And again, I've worked with people in their 80s, and you can see the changes happen when they start to work with this. When you're doing the right things, eating the right things for you at the right times. Again, there's that key. When I first started working with Dr. Cam, like I said, like over 5 years ago now, and the first thing he said to me was, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, "Oh, a little tired." Everybody's probably heard this story, but I don't care. "How are you feeling?" "I'm tired. My workout's not that great. Hold on to some extra body fat." And then the first question was, "When are you eating breakfast, mate?" And I said, "I don't. I've been intermittent fasting for a year. So I don't eat till after CrossFit, like noon or 1." And he says, "Oh yeah, you're an activator. You need about 5 meals a day." And I said, "I'm gonna get fat. Can't do 5 meals a day." And he said, "Yeah, you have a nice light breakfast and then you have your snack." And I'm going, "Oh my God, I don't." And he said, "You gonna try this or not?" He was just nice and direct. "You gonna try this or not?" And I said, "All right, I'll try it." And we had to tweak it a little bit because I'm on that connector cusp. Any starch at night is just a no for me. It's just so where I was still eating some sweet potato at night, he says, because I said, still not, I'm feeling better, I'm getting some more energy, but still need to tweak a little bit. And he said, let's bring some connector into it, some connector properties. So not too much salt at night, dial back the fat at night, but really that starch. I said, "Well, I'm gonna eat that sweet potato for the glycogen source." He's like, "You're gonna be okay. Do it at lunch, whatever." Switch that around, and it was like 11 pounds done.
Yep.
Just those little things, and I was eating more, and now I don't go anywhere without food. I always have I have my macadamia bar and I take things with me. I'm not gonna be without food because I get hangry AF, and I see that, but in tracking my metrics, I also see my average calorie burn is over 2,000 calories a day.
Wow. Good for
That's my
you.
average. In the summer, I'm at like 23 to 2,500 average a day
It also
because I'm
means you're moving.
out. So you have to, for me, I have to fuel that. And I get that now, but I didn't understand it then. And it made such a huge difference. And then I panicked because I said, my God, I'm 111 pounds and now I'm losing muscle. And he said, now we switch your profile because I think this is important also. All of this, like Daniella said, all of this information is getting input when we do an onboarding. And when we do an onboarding, we do measurements. We measure your skull, your jaw, your hands, your feet, your rib cage, your neck. We're looking for the algorithm's looking for inflammation, for diabetes risk, obesity, cardiovascular risk through these measurements. Very, very specific. So I always walk people through it one-on-one. And then there's an extensive questionnaire, a little bit of ancestry in there, but talks about what are you eating now and drinking, any health information, diverticulitis. It'll specifically ask me, have you been diagnosed with thyroid, hypothyroid, hyperthyroid, anything? And it might be, is this now or within the last 10 years, an autoimmune disease, within the last 5 years, in the last 2 months, have you had acid reflux, gas and bloating, right? So all of these things it's taking in, the algorithm is saying, this is where this body needs support at this time.
Mhm.
So that's what kicks out in the profile.
That's right.
And so then it'll also ask, how much exercise are you currently getting? So if you're sedentary, it's not going to put in like some of these foods that are going to be more difficult for the body there or you don't need as much. If you're super active, like where I am even more so in the summer, well over that 10 hours a week of high intensity, food recommendations differ. So I panicked and said to Cam, I'm losing muscle. And he said, we need to change the profile now from you had down lose fat. Now we're going to do gain muscle mass. And within 6 weeks, I was 3.5 pounds of lean muscle up. And I know I'm taking pictures in the mirror. Holy shit. I've been trying to do this for 50 years and I've never had luck like doing something where my body has responded so well.
Mhm.
And that's where I said I need to be a coach here and utilize it. Do you have coaches? He said, yeah, we have like over 1,000. I'm going, why have I never heard of this? Because I'm in the US. And there was like a handful of people who weren't even utilizing it. And it was just such a life changer for me. But it got me on, again, the intermittent fasting, right for some, not great for others. And it's, where are you at that time? But that's how it evolved for me, and what we do to get you onto this profile. This is the basics of how the food section, which is the absolute gold. I will keep this profile forever, just have the food section, because you have it on an app as well. So when you're, and it's always updated to you, right? So when you go into the grocery store, I can look up, I'll see a food and I go, I haven't had that in a while. I wonder where that is in my profile now. I can check out, hey, is this something I really would do well with eating every day this week? Or maybe a couple of times that I could make some and freeze some and have it when I'm craving it again. And can you just, before we wrap up, can you speak a bit to the recipe section? Because this is something we haven't touched on, and this is amazing, because the recipe section is the other pot of gold within this, because people are always like, can you get me recipes on this? And then you're online looking and going, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. And then you're more frustrated and saying, I just want to know what I can freaking eat.
The recipes took so long. It's 100, I think, I forget how many we have, but hundreds of thousands of recipes all over the place for everything. And we've organized them. You've got Christmas recipes and Valentine's recipes and themes if you wanted to. So you can search. You can search for specific foods or ones that you want to avoid. You can make it so that it is following your specific meal or in general. Everything is now personalized and rated to your food list. So it's your rating, and you can choose how strict you want to be with that. If you want a cheat day, oh, here are the best cheat day recipes for you.
Those would be ranked, they would be called poor on there.
Yeah.
And I show people, I pull it up, and it will have one or two ingredients on there that are not as desirable or an avoid, which you could swap out. Or if you're like, you know what, I just want to eat what I want to eat this today because it looks good, then you do it. But it's not going to throw you off because everything else in there is fantastic.
Exactly. Are you having a chocolate craving and chocolate is an avoid food, but you're like, I am seriously craving some chocolate, then you look up chocolate, even though it's an avoid food for you, for instance, and you'll see some recipes and you'll see the ones that are like really bad. And then you see the ones that might just be poor or not great or whatever. You can see, okay, chocolate was my avoid food, but here are all the fantastic things I can have with it. So you end up having an avocado cocoa smoothie, or you end up having a pudding, or you have a chocolate dipped strawberry. You're like, oh my goodness, I could have all of these things. And I'm satisfying my craving in a really healthy way. So what it does, the way it works is it's taking your food list, which is personalized to you based on your entire health profile, your unique situation right now, the weather outside. Wearable trackers are also connected to this. So it's all personalized to you, but we try to make it's covered so that the foods aren't changing every single day all the time, because that's overwhelming. So it's created a stabilization of saying these are the best for you for this time. And you can create a shopping list for the next month if you needed to, because too much change is too much, right? We've got the push notifications for, hey, try a banana if you need to, right? That's a separate component. But now you've got the recipes that are connected individually. Every single ingredient is there rated for you. So when I open up a recipe or you open up a recipe, we will have different little colors on those ingredients and different information on those ingredients, because it's about me versus you. So our recipe, like I might be able to have chocolate covered strawberries, no problem. And you can't. It would be a cheat day for you. And we can see that. And we have the rationale written right there, because you just click on it and it gives you the information about why that food is good for you or not. So the recipes now can automatically, in a click of a button, become an entire meal plan. You can say, generate the meal plan for me. You can play around with it and go, I'm alone this week, so I'm going to make this meal for 4 and just eat the leftovers, as opposed to make a meal for 4 for my family. So you can choose how you want to make it. You can modify it. If you're doing the intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast, you can choose that, or you can have the 5 meals a day. But those things are also automated for you. So it's already putting in the person we're encouraging the intermittent fasting for to have like maybe the 2 meals, they come as default. And you're like, I'm not ready. I need breakfast. Go ahead and add it. And then you can search in all of that, whether you're searching by title or by food or by ingredient or by theme, like breakfast or my birthday party platter or something like that,
yeah.
right? You can do searches, create a meal plan, and then it even creates a shopping list. So whatever you've done in your meal plan, one click of a button, you've got your shopping list that you can now go to the grocery store with. And it has, instead of just saying, I need apples. Okay. It's going to say, well, you're going to need half an apple for this recipe. You're going to be a full apple for this recipe. So then when you have a bag of 6 apples, you can go and go, actually, I just need 2. Right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it's totally up to you, but it's written there in that way, as opposed to saying you could see what you're going to need that for, or you'll be like, oh yeah, I was going to skip the apples and replace them with peaches. Sure, you can do that kind of stuff as well. So it makes it so easy and so convenient to feed yourself the best fuel for your body, or to feed your family really healthy foods. Play around with the recipes that are completely personalized to you.
They're great.
That is the recipe, and that is your individual ranking.
Yeah, they're great. And hopefully this has been super helpful, you guys, with understanding this food section in this pH 360 that I talk about with the health types and why it's helpful. You don't need to, I'm the anti-macro. If you want macros, great, we'll do macros. But the beauty is you don't need it. You just need to eat a variety of these nutrient-dense foods and eat more of them. And when you see variety, you think less of restriction. And that's the beauty. So you can come and work with me if you want to explore this further. I have different options. You can reach out to me. My contact info is in the show notes, or just go to Susan at healthyawakening.co. And Daniella, we will have all of her information in the show notes as well. Again, her website is drremy.com. Dr. Remy ND. How many times did we do that? drremynd.com. Yeah, if you want to learn more, hit me up. If you have questions, we can definitely answer them. So you can go to our chat, go to my chat at the Healthy Awakening or Everyday Epigenetics, Raw, Real, Relatable chat page on Facebook. And thank you again, Dr. Daniella, for sticking around and talking all things food, pH 360 and Shae.
It's been my pleasure. This is so much fun. Love this.
So get out there, make it a great day. Be your most authentic selves.
Thank you for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I'd love for you to share it with someone who'd find the information useful. Please leave a review anywhere you listen to podcasts, and it'll help the information get out to others. If you're interested in seeing if we're a great fit to work together, the link is in the show notes below, where you can sign up for a free consultation with me. So go make it a great day and let your authentic self shine.